Jim Jones was teaching me, you, and Nas a valuable lesson.
Welcome back, everyone. Jim Jones recently took to Instagram to address why he speaks on Nas, sparking a wave of reactions online. In his post, Jones wrote, "If you 40 and up arguing with me about Nas you already lost, you all fell for the bait. My streams go up every time I got viral. I'm teaching older artists a lesson in marketing. You all so stuck in yesterday. You all mad at the way things run today. Tighten up. I said what I said. I will wrap Rakels around any artist from my era. Whoever dear, step into the booth, bring some money with the case. This game ain't free. We outside in the field take that as you may, but we working every day. My new handle is AB and not Antonio Brown, more like algorithm bender." Jones's statement highlights how he's using viral moments and controversy as a marketing tool, boosting his streams and keeping his name in the conversation. By challenging other artists from his era and embracing the power of social media, Jones is showing that staying relevant means adapting to the new rules of the game. He's not just competing in music, he's bending the algorithm, as he calls himself, algorithm bender. This approach puts him at the forefront of a new era.
What up, where's your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Listen, Jim Jones says he was teaching us a lesson. He was teaching me, you, and Nas, the old heads that dwell in yesteryear. He was teaching us about going viral. He was teaching us about shaping and bending the algorithm. And he was teaching us about how our old ways are keeping us stuck in the past. Let me read this post by Jim Jones and we're going to have a conversation, okay? This is what Jim Jones, I'm going to do my best to piece together the kind of choppy, kind of childish language he was using. I'm going to make it plausible for us to have a conversation, okay? Here we go. Quote, "If you 40 and up arguing with me about Nas, y'all already lost. Y'all fell for the bait. My streaming go up every time I go viral. I'm teaching you older artists a lesson." Meaning, I believe he's speaking of Nas and people of that ilk and me, right? "In marketing. Y'all so stuck in yesterday, y'all mad at the way things run today. Lighten up." Now, the only problem with that, Jimmy, I'm just going to be honest, you are disrespecting this man, and now you're claiming you did it for the algorithm. Well, let's just be clear. None of us need a guide in marketing, right? If you're going to destroy your own legacy just to get some streams, that's fine. I'm going to be honest. When I put this in my chat with my infamous brother-in-law, I'm always telling y'all about that. He's one of the first people to say Jim Jones streams are going up. He don't care. This is what he's doing it for. Now, all that would be good if that was true. Okay? Let me just be honest. What I'm going to tell you, there are many times we've seen Jim Jones blurt out something, right? And he just said it, and then he'll go viral, like my mom told me how to kiss, stuff like that, right? He'll go viral for it, right? And then it'll come back where it actually worked out in a good way for Jim, right? Let's just be honest. Some of that stuff, they'll go back and listen to his numbers, and they'll push the numbers and move the needle and this, that, and the third. And he's right there where he wanted to be, spending money, making moves, and doing that, and the third, right? Now, with that being said, that don't mean you knew what you were doing. That don't mean you did it on purpose. That mean you said some shit, people got mad, ran to the freaking thing, and some of them was like, oh yeah, I used to like the old song that Jimmy made, and then they go da-da-da and play your music, and it worked out. I don't think this stuff was planned. I don't think... Go back and watch the interview on the couch with Jada and Fat Joe. Let's start there. This is where it happened. I did a whole video on it. I did a whole hour video. Young Eli, right? He was on a podcast called Don't Quote Me, and he said that Jim Jones was more relevant than Nas. He said Jim Jones had better bars. All of Jim Jones' music was better than Nas's music. Where he's from, they don't play no Nas. They don't play one mic, right? Ballin', We Fly High, and all that good stuff like that. And he also said that Jimmy's last 3 projects was better than pretty much anything Nas has, and he was saying that Nas' last project wasn't as good as Jimmy's the last project that he has, right? He said King's Disease wasn't as good as, I forgot what Jim's last project. And I did tell you that Jim Jones has been making the best music of his career in the last 5 to 7 years. His music has gotten progressively better. He has learned how to rap for the last 10 years. He has been a prolific rapper. I'm going to give you that. He ain't no Nas level rapper, and that's where the problem is. Jimmy went on to double down and say that he will body Nas bar for bar, double down, triple down, quadruple down. I guess that's for the algorithm too. So he basically said any rapper, anybody, which you're supposed to feel that way as a rapper, that you could use. It's the control verse all over again. I want to body you niggas, but it's only if you really can. I don't think Jim Jones has a chance in freaking hell of bodying Nas on any track for any reason. He don't have the skill set. So Jim Jones is trying to tell us now we're dinosaurs, we're old, we're the problem, that we don't understand what he was doing. Well, Jim, I don't believe you. I don't think you said it because you knew that it was going to take you viral. I don't think you said that because of that. I think you may have spun it, and especially when you said, check the numbers, Big Jomo got this, check the stats. You didn't know that was going to be so bad for you. You didn't know that he was crushing you in every single kind of way. You ain't teaching Nas shit about marketing because he don't need to know. He don't need to ruin his legacy. Let's go legacy for legacy. F the numbers, it's not the third. When they talk about Jim Jones in the history of hip hop, it's going to be a disaster. They're going to be clowning Jim Jones. He ain't going to be able to be spoken of in the top 50, the top 100. None of that algorithm shit going to matter. When dudes are speaking on hip-hop in the next 10, 15 years and they start going down the good old days and they start talking about this rapper, that rapper, they're going to clown Jomo. It ain't going to be good. It ain't going to sound right. This nigga thought he could beat Nas. Get the fuck out of here. It's going to be bad, gang. They're not even going to respect the music that you made. Only your fans like Eli. They're not going to be like, he had this record. They're not even going to be talking about that. You may have got your virality. You may have got your numbers up and your marketing and it sound good and you can buy a new house and this, that, and the third. And that's all that rappers care about these days, is being relevant to 15-year-olds and 21-year-olds and guys that ain't even hit college yet. That's all that rappers of this ilk care about. But in the long term, you think Nas been around for 30 years because he cared about marketing and doing little stuff to go viral and having his name linked to goofy subjects and weird conversations? I don't think so. And he damn sure ain't going viral because he's dissing nobody. That battle with Jay-Z 20-something, 25 years ago, however long ago it was, Nas said he'll never speak on another man's name after that. He don't need to battle nobody. He doesn't do tricks and gimmicks. Nas tours every year. He's on tour all the time, constantly. He'll tour, come right back to the city, tour again. Nas just did that tour where he had an orchestra. No gimmicks, no nothing. He had a suit on, gang. He went to literal theaters where they do Broadway plays. Nas was in there. He came to my city, went to the P-Pack on a stage where they do Broadway plays. He don't need your advice, and none of us do. Because at the end of the day, as I'm older, I start worrying about how I look to these people. When you're gone, your grandkids got to see, you know what I'm saying? They can't be like, well, he made a lot of money, but he looked like a clown out here. No, I don't want, that's not my legacy. Nobody wants that of our age. So yeah, the 40-year-olds that got mad at you for disrespecting Nas, you deserve it. You disrespected Nas. You said he was your idol, then you went on to say, I'll bust his ass. Like, no, it don't work like that. You can't bust his ass, and we know that. So the simple fact of the matter is you're doubling down, this and that. You're challenging Shannon Sharp to pull-up contest. All that shit's working for your after-school shit. But in real school, in hip-hop school, it's making you look bad. It's making your numbers look crazy. No one cares about that. It's going to be like, listen, this dude clowned himself, Came out against one of the greatest ever. This guy Nas got more, like, dead ass can do a show for a half an hour and outdo your entire career. Nas shows be 2 hours. Nas could do a 30-minute show and it's over. It's over, Jim. So the real heads, I don't know, but these kids like Eli, these kids that don't care about nothing but drill music and sipping lean and thinking that shit is cool and what shirt you wearing and what belt buckle you wearing, that ain't hip-hop. And when we talk about hip-hop, them kids not going to be able to have the conversation. When we start talking about legacy and legends in this business, you will not be named in that. And it ain't no algorithm to get you in that. So enjoy the viral success. Enjoy the making people go get your streams. Streams don't count when we talking hip-hop, when we talking heads. No, you really said this because you want the respect. You said, dudes be sleeping on me. What I be doing, need to check my stats, da-da-da. I be smacking heads in this thing where nobody's going to care with these antics. We'll never get to check your stats for real and check your music versus anybody else because you're coming about it the wrong way. You got emotional, you got in your feelings, and you said what you said. Now, instead of saying, okay, you kind of you didn't even apologize when you said, well, I made a boo-boo with the numbers. Goddamn right, you were way off. You were dead wrong. So instead of just falling back, okay, nah, you're going to double down because you want more streaming numbers. Well, guess what? That streaming numbers makes your legacy go down. It makes us look at you in a different light, as usual. More clowning, more goofy shit. We're going to be like, yo, this guy, even as far down as you was, even if you were 98 on a list of 100, now you're going to be in 300, 400. We're just going to keep bumping you down until you're a clown of this shit. I'm just going to be honest. So enjoy that marketing scheme, right? The real rappers don't need them. Real artists don't need the marketing scheme. Yes, we do. People need marketing, but not schemes. Now this right here was a bad look because now you got Nas on the offensive, and I know you bringing back the Koofy smacker, all this shit, da da da. We should smack niggas Koofy, da da da. Well, I don't know if that's gonna go like that this time. Okay, and I don't think people care about that shit, Jim. Right now in 2025, we don't care that you ran down on somebody and punked them. Nobody gives a shit about that. We older now. That shit isn't part of the plan no more. Right? Them young kids, yeah, they love that because they still out here drilling and killing each other. But us older people that go to work every day, we raising our family, we try to teach our kids the right way. We're not gonna tell them, yo, Jimmy smacked somebody Koofy off their head. Like, that's not where we're at no more, gang. Just gonna be honest. So if that's still cool to you, you got some you got some shit to do inside yourself. You got to do some soul searching because the older gentleman that you're clowning on here for not having a marketing scheme and not knowing how to go viral, well, we live in a different. Some of us put on construction boots and actually go to work in construction with them on and get a paycheck from that, right? We don't wear them because they look cool and we trying to do like video shit. So at the end of the day, we are grown-ups. You're as old as us, right? What is Jim Jones, 48, some shit like that? You pushing 50? It ain't about running down on niggas no more and doing violence to them over rapping. That's not going to move the needle. It ain't going to make you a #1 rapper, this, that, you're better than Nas, this and that. No, you need to get in the booth and write, right? And at the same time, you need to do some music and you need to respect your peers. Humble yourself. See, this is where the problem come at. You're not humbling. You're doubling down and tripling down on some nonsense. You know you can't mess with this man's catalog. I would even say at 15 minutes, Nas will wipe you out. 15 minutes. It won't even be close. It won't even be close unless there's a lot of young boys in there like Eli that want to hear We Fly High 3 times in a row. Other than that, I don't think you got a chance, gang. But it's too late. You already figured out the algorithm. You're the algorithm bender, like you said, right? At the end of the day, we don't care about no algorithms. You want the respect that us older heads are going to give you when all the lights go out. When all this shit's over, when it's time to say night, night, good night, bye, 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 right? You want us to talk about you in a good light. Well, doing this shit ain't gonna make it help. It ain't gonna make it help. It's gonna make it really bad because nobody's gonna talk about a man who openly disrespect Nas, one of the most beloved artists in the history of this music. No one's gonna make you a hero for that. Then you're doubling down, so you're making it worse, right? It's low-key buffoonery. Just own up to your mistakes. You were dead wrong. He beat you in every category. You said, check the stats. Well, we checked them and they weren't looking good for you, gang. So at this point, it's time to humble yourself, fall back. Okay, you got your streams, right? For Koch, which Koch don't even exist no more. You got your streams. You got your numbers. Fall back. No, he won't. He gonna be back on there doing some more shit. I think he just genuinely don't like Nas. I think it's a jealousy thing. So you can't tell a man to be humble when he's jealous. You can't tell a man to be chill when he don't like you. So I think he just don't really like Nas. And I think they hit a button, they hit a nerve, and Young Boy did that for whatever reason. I don't know why he came out and was like, yo, versus Nas. I don't know why he did that, but for some reason he got in that podcast and brought up Nas and Jimmy in the same sentence. Jimmy and Nas been having issues since 2005. Like Nas, they got that old footage that came up where Nas is saying he wouldn't even battle Jimmy. Nobody's looking forward to Jimmy versus no rhymes about nothing battle. He said that's not even gonna move my needle, gang. Just to be honest, I got a whole thing right here. I wasn't even going to read it, but let me read it real quick because it's kind of important to this situation. Nas confidently laughs off Jim Jones in a resurfaced video from 2025. Jim Jones recently suggested he's a better rapper than Nas during an appearance on Joe and Jada. Nas went off on Jim Jones back in 2005, and a clip of the diss is resurfacing on social media in the wake of Jones claiming to be a better rapper than him. He's not a better rapper than Jim Jones. Jim Jones knows it, but Jim Jones, once again, is some trolling behavior that's not going to get you really far with it when we start talking legacy, gang. I'm just going to be honest. This is what Nas said. Imagine putting pen to paper to write about him. As called by all hip-hop, Nas went on to say even something nice about him. I'm not anxious to hear the Jim Jones diss record, as the crowd laughs. He then lists Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, Cannabis, and Eminem as rappers he would be nervous to feud with. None of them are on the level of Jim Jones. All of them will eat Jim Jones. It is what it is, Jim. I'm sorry to tell you that. Jones originally reignited his feud with Nas while appearing in a recent episode of Joe and Jada. He argued that his catalog has remained more relevant than Nas over the years. It has not. We've already settled this in my last video. It's not. This is bad math. This is a oops, I did it again. This is a goofball statement, which was proven to be awful. Let me keep this moving. And Shannon Sharpe is not the messenger. Like going on Shannon Sharpe and Shannon Sharpe like, yo, would you hide it? Shannon Sharpe is not the messenger to actually deliver this message to Jim Jones, because it got goofy and it just went nowhere. When in circles, they insulting each other's clothes. It was silly. Shannon Sharpe was not the messenger for this. Let me continue. I was a superior Nas fan, but when you get into the game, you realize your idols become your rivals, he said on the show, according to Hip Hop DX. My son can't tell you one Nas record. I feel like that's Jim's fault. That ain't his son's fault. That ain't no precedent of other youngsters. And it doesn't mean that somehow Nas is irrelevant because of that one statement. Let me keep this moving. I got a hell of a catalog. Me, Jim Jones, myself, gold records, platinum records, no diplomats, nobody else but me, Jim Jones. Check my track record, then check everybody else's track record, then go to Billboard and check all my entries and check all them niggas shits. I be spanking a lot of this shit. Pull up Nas Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries. I pulled up the entries and it wasn't even close. I think Nas had something like 27 to like his 2, like something 20 something to Jim Jones's 2, and it just got worse when you looked at the Spotify numbers. Right now, with all this I'm relevant, all this chest beating and foot stomping and all this goofy shit that's going on, when you pulled up the numbers, it wasn't close. In any stat, he beat him in every kind of way. I think Nas's music on Spotify was making about $247,000 a month compared to Jim Jones' $23,000 a month. It was crazy. It didn't make no sense why he said this shit, but he got the tracking and engagement that he wanted, and that's what it is about. So he doubled down and kept it going. Following the fiery comments, Jim Jones doubled down on the Nightcap podcast with Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Johnson. What are you smoking when you said you were better than Nas? Sharpe boldly asked him. And Jim Jones said, I know I made a little boo-boo when you're talking about the sales and all this type shit. Nas was nice when I was in high school. Nas was dope. We appreciate him. He had a little bit of a run, but Nas always came up second to Jay-Z and DMX and all these other people. He tried to bring Jay-Z into it. He tried to bring DMX into it. This is when you lost, so you found out who beat him before or who could fight him for you. Then you try to bring them up. Oh yeah, maybe he beat me, but Lil Ray beat his ass, and Michael Jones beat him. It's silly shit where you're bringing in the next man to try to jump in the conversation. You're steering it, you're guiding it away from you, and it didn't work. He never had that type of influence on us except for the first album, which is bullshit. Nas been influencing us forever, and the last 6 albums been crazy. The King's Disease trilogy and the Magic trilogy, it's been crazy. Nas been doing his thing, but Jim Jones has been absent from that because he's somewhere trying to figure out how to move the algorithm. I used to want to dress like Nas. He had one of the illest albums of all times. I'm a real fan of Nas, but he kind of lost me after the movie Belly. So they've been going around showing clips of stuff he did after Belly, which was bigger than the shit he did before. And I don't know what Jim Jones talked about, but at the end of the day, we still will need to look at the tape and to tell that the tape will always put Nas in the forefront of this, and Jim Jones will always be in the back of it, talking about why they in the front and I'm not, because I have a nice cool belt buckle and I should be up there. It ain't about that, but he don't understand that, and I'm gonna leave it at that. CLBMG, head on over to black-yeti.com. Make sure you let them know who sent you. They got all kind of flavors over there. The menu has been updated. They ship all across the continental U.S. Also, every Wednesday night, we go live talking hip-hop, things of that nature. We will be discussing this on all the channels that show the What Show, me, TJ, and Fliz. And last but not least, we got a new program called Underground Edge, where we show hip-hop music videos from myself and others. It's really cool. We about to be the next Rap City. All right, tap in. I'm going to let y'all know. That's every Monday night around 8-ish. All right, I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.